You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, by God, I'm going to change something. I always say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you.
You know, I love the quote by Bruce Lee. It's one of my favorite quotes. He says, I was never worried about my opponents who practice 1,000 moves. I was worried about my opponents who practice one move 1,000 times. We have a dog in us, but we need to bring that dog out. We need to feed it. You are the only problem, the only solution. When we make a decision, mountains move.
The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. What you're seeking is on the other side of fear.
If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your step. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Coach's Corner. I absolutely love this part of our segments for the week because here I'm going to be interviewing all of our success advisors with you, where we can share with you our insights, what has worked for us. Today, I'm sitting down with Marcelo, and he looks like he's in a beautiful location. Marcelo, how are you today?
I'm doing amazing, Monica. And yes, I am here in an amazing place. It's Cancun. It's the Mexican Caribbean, right in the Mayan Riviera. We have an amazing weather. We have amazing people in here, amazing amenities, but this is the result of an amazing vibration. And that's what I always get from the Proctor Gallagher Institute. This is a manifestation of what we teach, Monica.
Awesome. Well, great. Well, let's jump right into that story then. It would be great for you to share with everyone your story of, when you first started here, a little bit more about you, but also this goal that you have created for yourself and your family. So I'm going to turn it over to you and tell us a little bit more about you.
Absolutely. Well, as you said, my name is Marcelo González, and I've been studying Bob Proctor's materials consistently for the last 13 and a half years, since 2008. And a lot of things have happened since then, professionally, personally, in my health, in my family, in my financial situation. But the most important thing is that every day, Monica, every week, every year, every month, it gets better and better if I stick to what Bob has been teaching us, first in person, now through his amazing legacy, week after week. And he mainly taught us and taught me something that I really, really had to surrender to. If you want to change your life, you got to shift your paradigm. You got to shift your way of thinking. So I'm from Mexico. I come from the Latino culture. I come from a culture where we know we are skilled people, but we don't believe that we can achieve things that people from other parts of the world can do that. Why? I don't know. 500 years ago, we were conquered by the Europeans and a lot of things happened. But I believe, Monica, that because nobody has ever really focused as government, as institution to shift this 700 million Latino paradigm, I think it just keep living just the same as 400 or 500 years ago. But I didn't accept that. When I heard Bob in The Secret, when I heard his teaching, when I jumped in his first 12-month coaching 13 and a half years ago, I really got it. And I understood one thing that him and later on, Arach Visugi taught me. We all work with the same power, with the same God, with the same universe. It's all about surrendering to the process and you can achieve it. So the last years, I've been living an amazing life. Yeah, I had to face big adversities in my professional development, in my financial development, around my family life. But always, Monica, always using this process, I achieve success. I might lose a few times temporarily, but at the end, I always win. That's something that I accepted and I have proved that is true.
Mm. And you've really created winning as a habit. And that's following the process. And yes, we fail our way sometimes. That's part of the goal achieving is when we're moving forward, the failures are there for us to teach us lessons and to get better and learn from adversity for sure. Because if you look at all the people in your life, perhaps that has achieved the goals, I'm not just talking to you, Marcelo, but our entire audience. Look at the people in your life that you admire, the goals that they've created, the same power that they have access to, you have access to. Now, it's how they're using that power is going to make the difference with the goal achieving. Now, you've been surrendering to the process. I know the last 4 or 5 months, you've taken a really deep dive different into discipline, commitment, into auto-suggestion. What has changed for you and why did you commit on a different level about 4 or 5 months ago?
Bob always told me through his teaching, through his materials, that auto-suggestion and repetition was a very important part of the process. But this amazing mentor that I have and that you have, that is called Arach Visugi, he really brought that other part of information that I was missing. He told me, yeah, you're doing the process, but you need to get emotionally involved. I always heard that, but I never really understood what was that. A few months ago, I got it. And by getting that, by understanding that emotions and feelings, it's the awareness of the frequency of vibration we're in. And then if we understand the laws, we know that we're dragging everything that we vibrate alike. That's when I really connected with this. So I've been very emotionally involved. I'm really being in the spirit of my visioneering idea that I built. And yeah, I've been here in Cancun, not only in Cancun. I guess anyone can come to Cancun in the resort that I am in Cancun. I was telling PP Gates, my great friend and also my coach and leader, a few days ago, and listen to this, Monica, that the cost of the room in this beautiful resort is twice as much as I used to earn monthly before I did my first coaching with Bob 13 years ago. Well, that's a quantum leap for me, especially if I'm staying here for 10 days. So it's like a year and a half of my back earnings, what I'm just enjoying here. And I'm probably working a third of the time I used to work back then. Because back then I was a university teacher and I had all the degrees that you can imagine. When I was 31, I had spent 28 years in school so far. So I had all the degrees. I supposedly had all the knowledge, but I was not happy. I didn't have a family. I was not earning enough money and I was not fulfilled. So that's when I really got what Bob taught me very deeply lately. It's not about knowing a lot of things, but knowing what you do with what you know. So that's when I really started living this beautiful life. And now as a success advisor in the Proctor Gallagher Institute, I live it every day because I live it myself. I give it to my amazing 2 kids. I teach it to my students, to my clients. And this is a never-ending, beautiful story.
Yeah, that's so great. I mean, how long ago did you set this goal to be on this vacation?
Uh, 5 months ago.
5 months ago. And then you surrendered to the process and you went to work. So quantum leaps can happen in a short period of time. This is what we teach. And quantum leaps is a lot of small compounded action in a short period of time. And you got really diligent about your daily disciplines. And that takes a great commitment too, because the paradigm is going to fight you. How often did the paradigm fight you going through it?
Yes, absolutely. Very often, probably several times a day. But something, I really stuck with being uncomfortable. When I open my eyes in the morning with a lot of obsession, like Raj taught me, the very first thing that I do is that I set my daily intention with a lot of emotion, very committed, with a lot of determination. And that starts the day amazingly, like your Nightingale says, by setting the right attitude since the beginning. But something, Monica, in the last 4 or 5 months, I have this amazing vacation, but there's a lot of other things. I moved to my new house 3 weeks ago, and it's a big, beautiful house the way I wanted it not too long ago. And I have really been growing in my professional career. And I have 2 amazing kids that every day they are closer and closer to me, not only emotionally, but in every other aspect. And we're fixing to be back here in a month in a kids hotel, because right now I'm in an adult resort. So it's goal after goal after goal. And like Raj told me, as soon as you achieve something, set another goal and go after it. And it always happens. You just got to stick to the process, get emotional involved, and keep going. The more we do this, Monica, I have learned from you and from Raj, the easier it becomes. Nowadays, it's probably easier for me to achieve a goal than not to achieve it. I just can't stay without growing every day, 1% better every day.
Yeah. I love how you brought up the family, because I know that's a lot of your why. You do it for your kids. Like your why, when you're going towards your goal, you want to have that why, that connection with it. Like, why do you want your goal? That's your leverage. It's going to get you out of bed in the morning. It's going to get you to do a lot of things that you're uncomfortable to do, because the why is so much bigger than the paradigm. That's where the desires come from. And this is my 3-step process. Like, what is my why? Second thing is, why not me? And what kind of decisions would I make? Number 3, what kind of decisions would I make it if I had twice as much confidence than I do right now? So when I started Marcelo, what was my why? It was for me to get out of this, we were stuck financially, and I wanted to really get out of that. I wanted to really express more of who I was, and I wanted to be a great example to my husband and my kids. That was my why. And then why not me was when I saw and I seeked out, I was seeking out Arash. Like, I knew he had something, what he had already achieved, I could also create. I knew the skills that he developed, I could also do. So I was like, that's why not me? And so for this second question is very important for everybody. Okay. That question, why not you? Is there an income level that perhaps somebody who's here listening to, is there an income level that you think of and you say, oh, that's not for me, because it just blocks you? It's a bigger number. Well, why not you? That's a better question to ask. Like, this life can be for anybody. And I know you've bought into that. You have heard this many times, Marcelo, and you finally bought into it. And so you've developed confidence through the knowledge, through the action, through the doing, for sure. And that's a huge part of it.
Yes. And something that is very important, Monica, to have a mentor. I really encourage people that is listening to us all around the world that the key point was not studying the material, that the key point was not watching the videos. The key point was making a definite and committed decision to allow myself to be guided. Mm-hmm. We need mentors. You were talking about the persons that I admired the most a few minutes ago. Well, they all have mentors. That's a must. Because whenever we want to stretch, we can stretch twice, we can stretch 50%. But when we really want to go for a huge goal, 15 times more, 20 times more, we need mentors to help us see what we cannot see. We need mentors to keep us sufficiently motivated every week, because we're going to be feeling scared. We're going to be feeling fears because we're growing in awareness. And every time we're going to grow, we feel that fear that it's not our enemy. The enemy is the doubt of thinking that I cannot do it. But fear, by the way, I think is my friend. It's telling me that, I'm going to the unknown, but I love that unknown. It's unknown the way, but it's not unknown where I'm going to arrive. I'm very clear where I'm going to arrive. So if you don't have a coach, it's very easy to bounce back to the comfort zone. If you don't have a coach, it's very easy to start studying from your old not bad, but old limited paradigm. But when you have a mentor that already achieved financially or family or healthy things the way I want it, we got to surrender to that process. That way, I do exactly what you tell me, Monica. That's why I do exactly what Arach tells me. That's why I do exactly what Bob Proctor tells me through his legacy, because we already went through what I want to experience. So it's very wise to stop doing it my way. But we need mentors. We need coaching, and we need to be guided the right way.
Yeah. And that's why everyone here this week has a success advisor to really guide them. It's like that white glove service. We're here to guide you. We've been trained. We absolutely love what we do, and we love helping people achieve their goals much quicker. And you're right, Marcelo, it speeds up the process completely, because we can make it complex or we can make it easy. Sometimes we want to make things harder for ourselves, where the answer's in front of us. The solutions are right there. Like, you have to view it that way. If you really become solution-oriented thinking, solutions will appear and problems will solve very quickly. But operate from that limitless attitude. Like, let that fill your consciousness, that mind, for 1 second. Imagine if you had a limitless attitude where you can create anything you want. So don't make it easy. Don't make it easy, but don't make it hard or complicated, because that's when the paradigm is in control.
Exactly.
That's what's happening.
Exactly. And something huge that I learned from you, our coaches, is that the mindset comes first. And then the body just follows with actions, with behaviors. But we must condition ourselves through the studying, through following the process, through doing exactly what our mentors tell us. We need to condition our mind. I'll never forget, many years ago, probably was in 2010, Monica, because the coaching program, the 12-month coaching program, was so exciting and successful for me that I did it 5 times in the last 14 years. And there's not a reason not to do it again and again and again, because every time I will do it, it will bring me better and better and better results. So I remember probably back in 2010 or 11, when I was for the second time going through the coaching, I remember in some live call with Bob, he gave me the word, and I asked, well, how can I achieve the American dream? I mean, that's one thing that a lot of people that do not live in America want to achieve. And he told me, Marcelo, you don't need to go to America to achieve the American dream. The American dream is in the mindset. Follow my directions, follow my guidance, and you can achieve that from Mexico, from Africa, from Asia. It doesn't matter. By the way, I don't live in America, but I'm in Canada. So it's just a matter of opening our heart and understand that if somebody else that we admire did it, anyone can do it. Once again, we all work with the same power. We all work with the same God. It's just a matter of conditioning our consciousness the right way, with the right direction, with the right materials, and giving a respectable amount of time, 6 to 12 months, to really make it happen. So I really want to tell the people that is listening to us worldwide, get a mentor, jump in a coaching program. We have several different options for you for every budget, but give yourself the opportunity to see for yourself what you haven't seen before, not because you don't have the talent, but because nobody taught you before. I was in school for 28 years, all the way to the PhD level, and I never learned how to think the right way until I jumped in the Proctor Gallagher Institute. And a guy that didn't even finish high school, like he always said, like Bob Proctor, taught me how to do it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so great. It's true. I mean, when I look at the environment, really getting stretched myself, because I knew if I wasn't in this environment, I would not naturally have stretched myself the way I stretched myself when I had this environment. I was not strong back then. Now, yes, I have a different mindset that I'm working with. Yes, I can stretch myself. But back then, I needed that help and support and guidance. So this entire week, we're teaching people how to become unstoppable, how to really become bulletproof and blaze your trail. I think stretching yourself way more now than you've ever been before is really important in this day in life, because, we're talking about being 1%, part of the 1% of the people out there. Not a lot of people are on that road because a lot of people give up, and that paradigm is very much in control. So when we talk about, visioneering, auto-suggestion. In particular with those two things, what has worked for you? I talked about, yesterday doing the auto-suggestion in front of the mirror. How do you do your auto-suggestion and your visioneering?
Yes, I'm very disciplined with what Raj told me to do. Number one, at the very early first second of the morning when I opened my eyes, I bent in my knees. I thank God for the universe for one more day, and I set my daily goal. Right after that, in the first 20 or 30 minutes of the day, I, number one, listened to an amazing recording that was suggested by you, my coaches, that is called The Magic Word. I know we already talked about that in other seminars we had in the Proctor Gallagher Institute. Then after that, I read out loud. I don't even read it. I already know it by memory. The self-confidence formula that Napoleon Hill developed fit to my own circumstance. Number three, I go to the mirror and I auto-suggest myself for 5 minutes with a lot of emotion, really, really, really connected. Number four, I write down my goal, just like you suggested us, 50 times in a short, basic way. It's not a long, long line. It's just one line, but very, very targeted. And after that, my friend, during all day, I'm asking myself, am I acting like the person that I want to become in every aspect? By the way I treat my kids, by the way I spend my money, by the decisions I make, by the way I show up with my students and my clients. So every day I'm asking myself, am I acting, behaving, thinking, and feeling like that person? And I guess that's what gives you the quantum leap, making that a habit.
Yeah. When you're thinking and acting like the person you want to become, you're circulating your opulence, you're circulating wealth. So that is where you get that, is in through your thinking. The riches is not in the things, it's in your thinking, it's in your attitude, it's in your discipline. So that part is what I have close to my heart, because it's the repetition of all of these ideas and concepts over and over again and perfecting them and getting better. Marcelo, what advice would you leave everyone off for the rest of this week so they can get the most out of it?
To really make a decision right now, like Napoleon Hill taught us, in 10 seconds, with a sense of urgency, of allowing themselves, of giving themselves the opportunity to be guided, to experience what a raise of vibration means, to understand how we attract differently when we are in the right mindset. And that can only be achieved by talking to your success advisor. Everyone in this call has a success advisor. Everyone can book a call with one of us, the success advisors. Give yourself 15 or 20 minutes just to talk about your goal, just to talk about your current situation. We will be able to help you somehow. We will always be able to help you, but that has to come from you. That has to come from you that are watching this call today, because you need to have the braveness. You need to get out of the comfort zone, give yourself 5 or 10 or 20 minutes, talk to us, and really see for yourself with your feelings, not with your intellectual mind, what your life can look like if you just give yourself an opportunity. If your way has not worked the way you want it until now, allow yourself to see a different way. It works, believe me. I'm telling you, I'm coming from a very different paradigm than the one I'm today, and I shifted relatively fast by surrendering to the process. That's what I will tell them, because that's what I did and it worked.
Yeah, that's so good. It's so true. I'm so far from that old version of me. I don't even recognize that person anymore. So great advice, Marcelo. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see everybody back in tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.